He talks slowly, between excruciating pauses, in a convincing voice full of crunching rocks and resonance. He breaks for critters and is the only one not seated in the movie theater just before the show starts, shaking hands and saying hello to friends and neighbors. He is uncommonly civil to trees no matter what they look like. Scrub pine or elegant oak, every tree gets the same respect, and every one of them plucks a heartstring, perhaps because trees are his business. He is a craftsman and a woodworker, an expert at exposing a tree's inner beauty, which he does, he says, to give a tree a second life. With the tools of his trade, he plunges into a vortex of unflappable concentration. Soon he becomes the eye in a hurricane of sawdust and wood chips, patiently coaxing a piece of wood to show its grace and color. Occasionally he does the same for people, regardless of whether he likes them or not. Folks seem to know that about him, so they flock to his woodshop, an anchoring sun in a small-town galaxy where people, like planets, are hauled in by the shop's gravity-like pull. Some are drawn to him, some are drawn to the wood or the tools he uses to work the wood. Some are drawn to the rocking chairs around his cast-iron stove. It is around the cast-iron stove where Mahler yammers with friends and visitors, gesturing with shrugged shoulders, extended forearms, upturned palms, and fingers shifted into neutral. He pontificates with the power of sandpaper, wearing his listeners down layer by layer until everyone can see the grain of honesty that Mahler wants to reveal. Not far from his shop, down the road a piece seaside, near the headwaters of Rat Trap Creek, Mahler's home lies afloat the sprawling cotton fields like a tall ship in a white sea. The closed-in porch off the farmhouse kitchen is where he reads the New York Times on Sundays, where he washes down cold glasses of iced tea on hot summer nights, and where he grazes through basketfuls of pecans collected from the yard. His porch is a thinker's porch with a view. That is, if you trouble yourself to find gaps between the mountains of books piled everywhere. Mahler is well read. To the east of his farm is 20 acres of woodland, a private Mahler sanctuary interlaced with paths cleared of briar brush and fallen branches. They are paths emptied of confusion that let him hike through with peace of mind. Mahler is stoic and stuck like a tree in solid ground. Nothing shakes him up, not a hellish gale, a sudden flash of lightning, or a flat tire on a lonesome country road. Because of that, he'll live longer than most. And as he strides with ease through his days and nights at the pace of a growing tree, he becomes more consistent, more resolute, and more inclined to adapt in order to survive. Because Mahler is a man with a modicum of social grace, he won't tell you that he doesn't much care for people who come from cookie-cutter molds. It's a person's imperfection that attract him most. He believes imperfections are what makes a person, original and beautiful, and he is drawn to trees for the same reason. From his perspective, ugly knots and unruly grains are the qualities of a run-of-the-mill plank that hold the truer promise for an astonishing piece of woodwork.
I don't know if I can read this thing without crying. The earth does not belong to man. Man belongs to the earth. Every shining pine needle, every sandy shore, every mist in the dark woods, every clearing and humming insect. We are part of the earth, and it is part of us. The perfumed flowers are our sisters, the deer, the horse, the juices in the meadow. The body heat of the pony and man all belong to the same family. And what is there to life if a man cannot hear the lonely cry of the whippoorwill, or the arguments of the frogs around a pond at night? For all things share the same breath. The beast, the tree, the man, they all share the same breath. That the air shares its spirit with all the life it supports. All things are connected. This earth is precious.